Today, we're here to talk about some affordable exhaust solutions that I've come up with and some things I've found on Amazon that I think are a pretty good deal and also make it much easier to build your own exhausts. So I do have to preface this video and say it is monetized, that the links I'm going to put up for Amazon are monetized, and I would get compensated if you do buy any of the items. But everything you see here I bought with my own money. I did my own research, and this is what I came up with. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm getting paid, I guess, if you buy what I bought and follow my links, but I wanted to make everybody aware of that. So I've noticed I say so way too many times in my videos. I apologize for that. Anyway, we are getting ready to swap out our 305, which we think lost a ring in our 90s OBS, to a 350 we got at the wrecker. My son bought a set of headers, and if anybody knows the 90s, late 80s, early 90s OBS TBI motors, which I did a video on the porting of the throttle body. I'm going to be doing another video on rebuilding that and putting the spring in and things like that. But today we're talking about affordable exhaust solutions. The big thing with those OBSs, the TBI motors, is the merge pipe is terrible on those. So my son bought a set of headers off of eBay, and I'm gonna do I'm gonna make my own downpipes to the merge, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the catalytic converters and things like that in this video. But what I want to do today is really go through and show you some of the things I bought, which I think are really cool, and make things easier and kind of innovative, and also kind of give you some thicknesses and stuff so you kind of know what you're looking at. I know when I look at stuff on Amazon and eBay, and that sometimes it's hard to tell how thick something's going to be when you go to weld it. And even then, you don't know how it's going to weld when you finally, put the torch to it. So that's what I kind of wanted to do in this video. What I'm going to start out with is these right here. This is a 45. This is a 3-inch 45. It's an X Auto Haas. They come in 4-piece sets. I think they're around 20. They might be a little more than that. The price fluctuates. It's a 304 stainless steel tube, and they're offered between 1.5 inch and 4 inch. Again, this is a 3-inch. So I used 2 of these on my dad's downpipe. You'll see the video for that on his Jeep. And I wanted to show you how thick these things are, because it was a big difference between these. See, I don't know if you can see there, 16 gauge. So 0.0598. So if you were on a TIG, you'd be starting out around 59, probably 60 amps for welding it. That is pretty thick. These things welded really nice on my dad's downpipe. You can watch that video and see kind of how it came out. Again, I'm a beginning TIG welder, but to get 4 of these, they're really nice. And the difference is, so I bought we ended up buying a kit also. I bought a big, great 3-inch DIY custom mandrel exhaust pipe kit. It's a 8-piece kit, 304 stainless. And you can see the difference here between that 45 and this 45. I mean, yeah, you're getting a lot more material, but if all you're trying to do is make a turn and then you're going back to straight, you got 4 of these for like 20 bucks, and it's doing the same thing. So I think these things are off the hook. So this kit, again, was a big grate. This is the 3-inch flange part. Let's see what this measured out at. 16. 18's kind of on there tight. I'm going with 18 gauge, 0.0478. Let's check the other side. Yeah, 18 gauge, 0.0478. So I was going to buy this other brand, but I want to show you this brand first because we have it here. So I'm going to put links for both brands. I think I'm probably going to go recommend the other one that I'm going to put up, but this is the link I'm going through. So you're going to see the measurements that come on this. So what we're going to use probably for our merge pipe is going to be this U-bend that came in the kit, the 8-piece kit. And again, all the links will be on in the bottom description. So again, we're at, I don't know if you can see it, we're at 18 gauge, 0.0478. So the difference is with that 90 I was showing you that comes from X Auto Haas, that you're going to be at you're on a 16 gauge is 0.0598. So you're going to be on a TIG, you're going to be at 60 amps basically. And for this stuff, you're going to be down around 0.0478. So you're going to be around 48 amps or so. So that's the difference there. The bends on these look pretty good. I've seen some kits where they show in the reviews and there's like kinks in the bends and stuff. I am pretty happy with the bends on this kit. Let's check the straight pipe that came. Again, you get, you can see in the description what you get from this kit. It's fairly reasonable, but I'm also going to tell you about a different kit that I think was a little bit cheaper, but my son wanted this fast, so we went with this one because it could come faster. So here's the straight pipe. This is 4 feet, and let's see how it's flare. We're on the flare side right here. So let's see. Again, it's feeling about 16's loose. It's about 18. Looks like pretty good material, but again, it's not super thick. As opposed to the kit I'm going to recommend, here's a pipe over here that I got in that kit. Hopefully I don't have everything fall on me here. I was really hoping to do this in one big video and kind of give people measurements and stuff. So I bought this pipe and used it on my dad's Jeep. And this was from JY Performance. It's a 3-inch universal exhaust straight pipe. They come between 2.5 and 5 inch. The kit we bought from that big grate, they come between 2 and 4 inch. So again, this pipe I'm about to show you comes between 2.5 and 5. This is a 3 inch. It's thicker. So I don't know if you can see there, but let's do the same thing with it again, and we'll be able to see kind of what we're dealing with. It's 14 gauge. That's 16. So this is 16 gauge pipe, where the other one we just measured was 18. So again, we're at 0.0598. So we'd be at about 60 amps. So this is what I dealt with my dad's Jeep. I used a 1-inch section between two 45s, and you can see fits up pretty good, and this stuff welded nice. Both the straight pipe and this 45 I was very happy with. So that's, again, there's the soap. Those are some products I'm really happy with. The X Auto Haas also makes a 90. This is a 45, so 90 would be like 2 of these, but it's just 1 piece. I believe they're the same thickness and everything else. You get them in a 4-pack. They come between 1.5 and 4 inches. I think both these are game changers. If you're building an exhaust to have 4 45s laying around and 4 90s, give you a lot of options for a very reasonable price. Now, next, what I'm going to talk about is they make these cones. Again, this is ex-Auto Haas, and all the links will be in there. They go from a small side of 1.5 inches up to a big side of 5.25 inches. And what this allows you to do, for instance, we're going to be running a 3-inch exhaust on my son's OBS, and I believe the Cadillac converter is somewhere between a 2 and 3-inch pipe. So what this will allow us to do is we put one of these on one side and one on the other side of the Cadillac converter, and we can run the stock Cadillac converter in here in the middle. And what you can also do is, I think this one here is a 3-inch. Zero out my caliper here. It's, let's see. This one's about a 3 there, and it's a, I think this is a, we went 2-inch or 2.5, 2.5. So that allows us to jump from the 2.5 up to the 3. The reason we bought that, oh, and let's again check the thickness so you guys know what you're dealing with. That's 16, a little loose. That's 18, kind of tight. I'm going with about 17. So not quite as, and on this side, again, a little loose, but a little better on the thick side. I don't know if you can see it. Somewhere between 16 and 18, probably 17 gauge. So you're probably going to be at about 55 amps or so. But these things are really cool. Here's another set over here. I think these, yeah, these are a 3-inch to 4-inch. What I'm going to do with these when we do our merge, so our merge is going to come in. We're probably going to have to cut the center out and merge it. And then I'm going to take and smash the 4-inch and weld it into the merge. You'll see it. I'll do a video on it. But I think these will work really good on the merge part, where we go, then we'll jump up to a 4-inch and then back down to a 3-inch. What I think these do for you also, by doing one of these on each side, is you then, like, let's say your Cadillac converter's in here. You got, let's say, a 2.5-inch Cadillac converter right now. So you have it this way, you can swap it out, and then if you want to buy a 3-inch, you just run a 3-inch pipe in between. But this way, you've adapted it onto the 3-inch, and it gives you some options. If you're going to the races or you're going to turn it into an off-road truck, then maybe you eliminate that part. So my son bought eBay headers, and they have these kind of flanges that mount to the header. The header's a 3-inch. This is, let's see, about 2 3/4, and it's 2.5 there. So what we're probably going to do here is, again, this is a 2.5. Probably cut this back as far as we can. Obviously that bracket's going to go on there, and then we'll weld that in, and we'll be back up to 3-inch. So I figured I could have just done 2.5 and done the merge at 2.5 and gone to a 4 to a 3, but I decided, screw it. This is 2.5. I'm just going to jump it right up to 3, buy all 3-inch pipe, and do it that way. Just out of curiosity, let's see how thick this is. So that's 16 gauge. That's a tight 18. So this is thin too. This, you're starting to see, I think the 16 gauge is really nice thick stuff, and that's what all the Auto Haas stuff is, and that's what this JY Performance is. Again, I was going to buy the JY Performance exhaust kit, but it was going to take a lot longer to get. And the reason I wanted to buy it was because that pipe I got was, again, 16 gauge. So let's also talk about flanges here. I did my son's Ford exhaust that I might do a video on at some point, and I use these kind because they're reasonable. The problem with these is, and again, these came with the headers we bought, but the problem with these is they go together. You got to buy a gasket that goes in between. So you got to buy 2 brackets and then a gasket. Okay. And then if you see the amount of room there, we ended up having to do all Allen bolts on my son's, because by the time you put I have a disaster here. By the time you weld a pipe to it, okay, you don't have a whole lot of room for a regular bolt there and a wrench and everything. So we ended up doing Allens and then getting like nuts that had kind of a small thing. So I thought I was saving money doing this. And then we had to do a little work, and I had to bolt them, and then I had to buy a new gasket. And I started thinking about, by the time I start buying Allens and everything else for these, and 2 flanges and a gasket, why don't I just go with V-bands? So these Evil Energy, I'll put the link up. These are bestseller on Amazon. I haven't tried them yet, but I like them so far. They look really good. The quality seems pretty good on them. Let's see if I can get them out of here. There we go. So what you can see with these, and you'll see it in the diagrams, see you got a nice shoulder there, and you got the shoulder there. So this male side goes into this female side. So, like, let's say we're doing the catalytic converters. Here's what I've come up with. If you do a catalytic converter and you have one of these on one side and you have one on the other, okay, if you keep it going in the same direction, then so like, let's say this is the engine side. You've got the male, then you've got the female mating up to it. Then on the other side, you're going to have the male, and then you're going to have the female on the exhaust. So like if the cat's here, you're going to have where the merge pipe is, this catalytic converter, then you're going to have another one of these, then this is going to go to your tailpipe, your muffler, and that. And by doing that with 3 clamps, you can swap it out. So if you have to go to a bigger cat, or let's say you turn it into a race car and you want to do a test pipe in it or whatever, now you'll need one of these and one of those on the next pipe. So you're up to 3. So you have one, the cat, 2, and then if you want to do a swap out, you're like this on your 3rd clamp. So I think that's pretty good. I think this is, in the long run, going to be much cheaper than doing it with these and buying Allens and gaskets and everything else. It's much cleaner. This is a 2.5, so 2.5 goes right into it. You can see. So you can weld it on the inside and the outside if you want to. They're nice and thick. Let's check the gauge on these, just out of curiosity. Somewhere between 14 gauge and 1/8 inch. I'm thinking probably 12 gauge, something like that. Pretty nice, pretty thick, good stuff. So like I said, I'm going to put monetized links in all this. If AutoHaus wants to reach out to me and give me a discount for people, I might try and do that and switch that out at some point. Right now, I'm not getting any discounts. I apologize. But I think in the long run, you can buy these in sets from 1.5 inch to 5 inch, and you can buy sets of between 1 and 4 of those. So I think with 4 you could do a whole exhaust easily. Again, 1.5 inch to 5 inch, that's pretty good. I think that's about everything I wanted to go through here. I hope this gives people some ideas. I feel like these things and straight pipes are a much better deal than these big kits they have, because again, you can get 4 of these for like 20 bucks. Then there's a two pack of the pipe I went through from JY Performance, and I think that's around 50 or so. So it depends on how much exhaust you're doing in that. But this is way cheaper than buying a MagnaFlow kit or something like that. And you can see the thicknesses on the stuff that I'm kind of recommending here. It's when you get down to 16 gauge with the TIG, it welds nice. I was really happy with that. And you know, you got a stainless steel exhaust. We did on my son's Ford, we did mild steel, and then you got to paint it and all the stuff, and eventually it's going to rust out. Here you got stainless. If you don't have a TIG, which again you can get this TIG for cheap, and I'm going to probably do a short. I did a long video on it. I'll probably do a short video with easy links for people. But if you don't want to do it, then you MIG it. You can always MIG stainless. I've done it before. Obviously, it's way cleaner if you TIG it. But if all you got is a MIG, I think you're still better off. That you could, I mean, you can buy all the special gas and try and do stainless MIG, but who does that? I think, but you know, you got some options here, and I think stainless is the way to go. In at these times with these ex Autohaus pieces and stuff, some of these they don't make in mild steel, and the stainless is pretty reasonable. So that's what I got. I hope this is some new stuff that maybe people haven't seen and haven't thought about. I know for a while I was like big on these things, and then the more I thought about it, I think the V-bands are the way to go. And these things look really nice to me for the price and that. So I'll put all the links up. Please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Trying to get my subscriber base up. I'm trying to get more of these videos out. We're going to, like I said, we're going to be doing this exhaust for my son's OBS. I'm going to be doing a exhaust for my Cadillac Escalade where I'm going to redo the merge pipe and stuff on that. I'm going to be doing an exhaust for my son's Dodge. I am going to do a video on some tools I made to pull a transmission out of a Honda Accord. What else do I have coming? Oh, and we're going to be putting that OBS motor in the OBS TBI motor in the Chevy soon. I'll be doing the video on the rebuild of the throttle body and that. So again, please like and subscribe. Take care.